Here we have an RCA Model 5X. Kind of cool dial. The dial string is not broken, thank goodness, because this is very difficult to restring. It's like looks kind of like a cross between a cube and a midget. Got your volume, tuning, band switch. Took the back off already. Here's the inside. There are no bolts holding the chassis in. This is a resistance line cord. So what that does is basically it provides a voltage drop to the filaments in the line cord. So there's a 130 ohm resistor in this line cord that drops the voltage to the set. Some people call these curtain burner line cords, as they tend to get warm. They don't usually, I don't think there's any instance of them ever catching fire, but that's the nickname because they do get pretty warm when they're being used. Not really that safe these days. So I'm probably going to replace it with a regular line cord, just a regular, power cord, and a dropping resistor, which you'll see in a minute. This is a really small radio. It's going to be difficult to fit that in here. So let's pull this out here. No bolts holding anything in. Well, here we see a new capacitor. Well, new, but that's probably from the 50s. This is nice rubber wiring. That's always safe, You've got a replaced capacitor here. Dropping resistor. Let's flip this up on its side here. Looks pretty good. Replaced capacitor, another one down there, another one here. It's had some work done to it. No surprise, this thing is really, it's pretty old, 1935, I believe. So, basically what we need to do is change the capacitors and put a dropping resistor in. It'll probably work. Probably, but there's no guarantee. This is a simple radio. This is also a hot chassis, so kind of dangerous to operate this. Yeah. Kind of cool strain relief design there. That's nice. I like that. Despite being a small midget radio, I'm sure very low cost, it's well built. But then again, it is RCA, so RCA tends to have good quality stuff. So the first thing we're going to do is change these capacitors here in the power supply section. I'm going to operate as if we are going to keep this resistance line cord. It does, I checked it out, it actually measures okay. Now, that being said, it's not the safest thing ever, but it might be okay for testing. The biggest thing is I want to get these old paper wax capacitors out of here, and the way to do that is to replace them first. So you can see here that the filter cap goes between that red wire and ground, and between the other red wire and ground on the other side. So let's get this side done first. Okay, I went through here and I recapped as much as I could. I can pull that back. Just gonna show you here. Changed all the capacitors. Pretty neatly done. Clean the controls. This band switch is very stiff. That might have to come apart. I hope not, but it's possible. What else do I have here? That's about it. So what I'm going to do, this still has its original resistance line cord, and it measures good. We'll just do a quick measurement here. Hold on. Okay, so I put my meter there. I'm going to touch to the other side of it. 132.7 ohms. So, like I said, measure's good. I think I'm going to plug it in and bring it up on the Variac, see what happens. Okay, we've got everything hooked up. I've got this hooked up to the B+. I'm going to turn the power on. Oh boy. Again, I got the resistance line cord here, so we'll see what happens. Let's give it 10 volts. Oh, it says 20 volts. Okay, I'm getting some dial light illumination. So this is good. We're at 30 volts. 35 volts. I should get something. 55. Getting nothing. Oh wait, no, here we go. Just needed. We're at 60 volts. I'm getting some voltage. 65 volts. Let's go to 70. 75 volts. Should be hearing something soon. I do hear something.
Difficult. Good. Or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code ALLNEWS.
Okay.
Paid for by government.com. Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These coins.
Okay, it works. That's cool. So the next step is to deal with this line cord. Clearly it's working fine. Okay, so this is kind of jerry-rigged, but this is a resistor here. 130 ohms. Put this tube back. Really? Yeah, so that resistor will go in there. I put a new cord on it. Put the original plug back on it, which is a little funky, but whatever, it's fine. And we'll test it out, see what happens, see if it works or what. But yeah, unfortunately, putting a resistor in is the best way to do it, even though it doesn't really fit. I had to really bend this. This piece here is pushing against a coil down here, which I don't really like. But I don't really see any way of doing it otherwise. You can kind of see it in there. Well, not really, actually. I'm just going to move this. Yeah, you can kind of see there it is right there. So I don't really like that, but I don't see an alternative.
Pretty wild,
At the Weather Channel, Kelly Cass says there's more to come. Another 5 to 8 inches of rain on the way, especially for the foothills of the High Sierra and even coastal locations. We're talking about several inches of rain over the next couple of days. Worries in the financial community over the collapse of the biggest bank since 2008. CBS's Bradley Blackburn.
The sudden collapse of Silicon Valley Bank had tech CEOs and founders standing outside bank branches looking for answers.
For murdering
Oh, yes.
$200 billion in assets was shut down.
Weather mostly cloudy, blustery and chilly this afternoon with a high of 44.
Dial alignment's pretty good. 1010 wins is almost exactly at 1010. That's pretty crazy. It's a little off, but it's just with the built-in, little lousy piece of wire on it. It's not too terrible. Okay, let's see if I can just bring up the antenna just a little bit. See what we can do. Let's put in the antenna. Which one's the antenna? There we go.
On the southwest of Whitestone Expressway, right
That woke it up a little.
work week from 40 hours to 32 hours.
So that could go over a little more.
CNBC make it. Its proposal encourages companies to either pay workers more for longer hours or shorten their week and hire more people. Now, this would be a big Fair Labor Standards Act. Last big shift granted us weekends in 1940. I'm Lucinda Kay. New York's 311
about
helpline
right,
is
so I'm
turning
gonna
20
leave
years
it.
old. Lisa G reports. To help celebrate
Yeah, so
Mary
I
Adams
guess
Day,
we're good.
the most outrageous-
So it plays fine. I can't really leave that on. There's more music.
In the news.
Bus aides and the bus drivers are gone for the day.
Second largest bank collapse in U.S. history.
So
The White House is trying to assure
we're at
customers and is said to be working on a
120
resolution
volts.
to get their money back, but the notion of a 2008-style bailout seems unlikely.
Analysts tell me
That's
that it's
about
still
right.
more likely that another company would buy Silicon Valley Bank's assets. Regulators
resistor
are really
gets
quick to
very
point
hot.
out that banks have had to shore up their cash cushions because of these new rules that went into effect after the financial crisis, basically to prevent another bailout like we saw back then. But
Playing
this
just
is
fine.
a very clear display about how higher
Nice and
borrowing
bright.
costs from the Federal Reserve are making it harder for some businesses to cover their expenses and causing broader uncertainty in the economy.
That report from correspondent Elizabeth Schulze.
Sounds pretty
Gun
good,
violence
actually.
in Hamburg, Germany's second largest city. A gunman stormed the
His politics top his list of big picture concerns.
This is a good radio. I mean, middle of the day, and we're getting,
Everybody else can go, hey.
decent selection of stations. So
Long Island.
But I think it's great. It's true of the Republican element too.
keep in mind that this is a very small. I don't even have my long antenna plugged into it. I just have this little wire here.
Conservatives and a lot of the libertarians online.
That's it.
All right, we need more government intervention to prop up this bank.
Okay.
By the way, if you want to get in on this conversation, 800-848.
Just shut it off.
800-848.
So I don't know. I'm not sure how to. That resistor. Wow, it gets hot. I'm just putting my hand near it and I can feel the heat. Although part of that heat is from this rectifier, which also gets hot, and then this audio tube, which the brilliant designers here decided to put literally touching everything else in the radio. This was designed to be cheap and cheerful, not last for a million years, unfortunately. And basically by replacing this power cord and putting the resistor in, we've bought it some time, but it's still, it's basically built so, it's nice. I mean, nice RCA transformers. They've got, they used some good quality parts, but it's just like, it's just so tight in there, man. Well, anyway, it works. Am I going to use this much? Probably not. I don't know if I really trust it, given that it's a lot of heat and in very little space. But it works great. I mean, actually, it's a pretty decent radio. So I think what I'll do is I'll just run it for a few minutes, 15 minutes or so out of the cabinet, see what the heat level is like. I don't see anything smoking or burning up. So I think we're, okay. It's just that resistor is just going to be hot. I mean, it is dropping. What did we say it was? About 20 volts? I can't remember exactly. The only other thing is this wire should probably be replaced, although the break is up here and it's not touching anything. I could probably put heat shrink over it if I want to be lazy, which I kind of want to be lazy, so I might do that. But other than that, it's basically done. I just, the tuning is a little bit... It's a little funky. Well, actually, it's working all right now. The thing with this, the way it's designed, the tuning mechanism is so difficult to get to. I don't want to mess with it too much. It is kind of working. So I think we'll leave it. The volume control I loosened up. This I was able to loosen up a little, although it's still very stiff. It's just, it doesn't want to cooperate, but whatever. Okay, here's the RCA back together.
U.S. female exec.
Where is he today, Brian? I do not see the only because the arms are too. Certain parts of the world.
Very sensitive. Basically no antenna on it.
Stay with us. We're the Tangent on Veritas Catholic Network. I'm Father Sam Kachuba with your daily gospel reflection.
Oh yes, gospel.
be
antibiotics or antibiotics and survived COVID, you might be eligible to.
Can't let that play too long.
Challenge just getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I
Lots of volume.
refunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you
So
that
it
money. The team of tax attorneys
turned out okay. The only thing, like I said, that I'm a little concerned about is the heat level, but
and so we share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types qualify, including those who took
that's it
PPP,
for the antenna.
nonprofits, and even
Not bad for almost no antenna.
All the classes today. Instructor down at Westford Ski School.
Support each other to snow plow, honey, not away.
So nice looking radio.
To slow them through the day-to-day.
Pizza, fries. Whoa, really?
Speakers in the back.
Pizza.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality
So,
candidates
not too
whose
bad.
resumes on
Abilities go back to White Plains Road on the Cross Bronx and the
and we honor every manufacturer.
Hey guys, deals on select performance speeds and guide you through everything else. Question. I am with and to medical appointment, and we were having a discussion.